So, one of the big fights that's going to be happening is, and it'll be considered some giant win when good design wins. But there's going to be this big fight, and the big fight's going to be like, oh, the Republicans, they don't believe in the climate change and da-da-da-da-da and all this kind of stuff, because it'll always be these inaccurate vagaries that are being spoken about, rather than the Republicans don't support various schemes to lower anthropogenic global warming, because that's not, there's not really a sign that America can do a whole lot to do that outside of good design. We have ways of designing houses and buildings, landscape, all kinds of various, there's a lot with just raw form that we could do, and when we build things that would change the need for energy. It would actually kind of store energy, or do something that would make it so that you didn't have the same energy costs, you didn't have as high energy costs, because that's the key thing. Maintaining the building will require energy. You'll need all the various cleaning tools and all these various things that maintain it. And so that's because that's really one of the easiest places that we could do anything. That's where the concentration should really be. How is that done? Like, China has started to do something to dissipate the typhoon waves. That they'll get these big monsoon waves from the typhoon season. If I remember correctly, that's how it works. Or maybe it's monsoon then typhoon season. I don't know. It'd be something. But they figured out, here's ways that we could alter the terrain of various cities and their layout at the shoreline with parks. And with this layout change, we can actually have the water dissipate and pool in ways that is beautifying or is even useful in some way, shape, or form. So this is something that at some point America's going to have to just simply take more seriously, and you're seeing it happen slowly but surely all across the country in little bits and pieces. See, people will be like, oh, that's why we need to have lots of people doing these classes on the environment. And it's like, no, actually this shows that we simply don't concentrate on design enough. This should be a widespread thing, that this should be like the new burgeoning urban technology. Are these various designs that's like, yeah, this is something that we figured out, that it reduces how much road wear you have. It does it, and it'll come. I mean, it's going to come. And people have to be trained in these methods and such. But if we would concentrate on that, Trump going off about windmills, that's true. The way that we have windmills now is not ideal. There's other forms of wind turbines that exist that aren't these goofy fucking windmills. And the big issue is the big goofy fucking windmills have, again, big inputs, not necessarily that great as far as output. And then we also make them extremely, very, very few of them in very few places, concentrated, and it just doesn't make sense when you already have a conical wind turbine. Anyway, and that's why people, they get fixated on this technology that within very little time becomes antiquated because it's about design. All right, later.